Who are you?
Who am I? I meditate on that a lot. Who am I? Well, my body's name is AnnaLynne McCord. I'm AnnaLynne McCord. I play Mia Stone, a vapid, vacuous, very vain little girl who loves herself and loves her 12 million followers. That's me.
Which is less than you have in real life.
Unfortunately, it's a lot more.
I'm Joseph Gatt, and I play Brian Andrews, who's the head of security on the Titanic III, and gets a lot more than he bargained for when he took the job.
A lot more, including me.
Including her.
Well, it's funny that you ask, because I called my sister Rachel. It's my younger sister, who I literally, 2 years into filming 90210, I was like, everyone's like, you're just so natural at this. And I was like, yeah, I really don't know why, because I'm actually quite boring and a nerd, as you know. The nerd part.
I wouldn't say boring.
But I was like, I know why I'm good at this, because my little sister, I'm just emulating my sister. So when I got this role, I was like, Rachel, so if I rip you off again, how much money am I gonna owe you?
Is she really like that?
No. She's more grounded. I added the Alexis from Schitt's Creek vibes. I am shamelessly saying I ripped you off, Annie Murphy, and I am not even apologizing for it, because you're just that good.
She would probably be happy about it.
I love what she did.
Because you did so much of it.
The hands. I can't help it. It just happens when I do vocal fry. Like, I just can't help it. So there is some Alexis from Schitt's Creek going on.
Some.
Well, I know pretty much every factor.
She knows things.
I know things.
She does.
I was obsessed with the Titanic, so I spent a year studying the history of the Titanic, and there's a wealth of information that you don't need to know, but I could offer you.
I was completely shocked, I have to say, because firstly, the first day I met Anna, and she was doing her Annie Murphy, her Alexis, I was just like, and we hadn't spoken beforehand.
Right.
I just saw her, doing this thing, and I was just like, this is really weird, because either she's doing a brilliant impersonation of Alexis, or she actually is. And I literally was texting my partner, my girlfriend, Mercy, and I was like, because we're massive fans of Schitt's Creek.
Me too, yeah.
And we're just like, Mercy, this girl is doing a perfect Alexis. And she's like, what, really? I said, it's absolutely, I nearly swore there, sorry. I'm British, I apologize if I swear, it just is natural conversation for me. And I said, it's absolutely perfect. So that was impressive alone. And then we just introduced each other to ourselves, and standing by the piano in one of the, near the staircases where they were shooting. And then we started talking about stuff, and I cannot remember what you said. You either corrected someone about a fact about the Titanic.
Sounds like me, I'm a know-it-all.
Or something.
Insufferable
and then I was
know-it-all.
just like, what? She knows about the Titanic and she does an Alexis? What is going on here? And then we kind of hit it off. I'm like, anyone who could do Alexis and knows about the Titanic, she knew exactly how many people died on the Titanic. I knew roughly, and then she corrected me. That's what it was.
Oh, that's right.
I think I said, I can't remember what I said, but I said the rough number, and she went, no, actually it was da-da-da-da. And she said the exact amount. I said, interesting. We may get on.
I know, we were just at another interview, and one of the most fascinating things of the Titanic, I thought, was the temperature of the water. The water was 28 degrees. And I was 10 when the Titanic movie came out, which was what started my obsession. So I had just recently learned that the freezing point of water is 33 degrees, and I was like, how is the water still moving? What does this mean? And then I learned about salination, allows the temperature to drop lower than the freezing point. And the reason that the Titanic broke in half the night of the sinking back in 1912 was because of the sulfur content in the steel. It becomes brittle at 28 degrees, and that was the temperature of the water that night. And so that for me was just mind-blowing. The water could be a different temperature, and it just happened to be the temperature that makes steel brittle in that period. Oh my gosh. So there's my nerd part. You just saw the nerd side.
And the funny thing is, I just learned that about half an hour ago. Because I kind of knew all the technical, geeky stuff about what happened inside the Titanic to make it sink. But I had no idea about this. Like, because I'm just sitting there going, well, the water is fluid. It is what it is. There are icebergs and yada, yada, yada. Hit an iceberg and the rivets and the blah, blah, blah. And the boiler's exploding, yada, yada, yada. I had no idea about the water. I'm like, oh, okay, but how comes James Cameron didn't know that? Like, what?
Well, and the icebergs, the other thing is icebergs are freshwater. So that's why they're frozen and the water's not, which shows... Anyway, enough of that.
You're so ruining your character by being so
I
intelligent.
am
Much. It was kind of, it initially starts with me being there, doing my job, and then suddenly I get, without giving too much away, maybe a little side hustle situation going on, and then right at the end I'm just like, yeah, like you say, fuck it, kind of thing, kind of thing. But yeah, it was interesting to play that, and what was really nice was a lot of those subtleties, those little things, we kind of put in as we went along. Like obviously the script was there and stuff, but that was a nice thing about working with Nick, was he's very fluid and doesn't get stuck to something in particular. And there were certain things that didn't really work initially about the script, and as we were going, we talked about it and we made changes and stuff, and the character actually changed quite a bit from the original script that I read to what you'll actually see on the screen. I think it was basically, he's a guy that has a pretty strong idealistic approach to what he does, because we assumed that this character was former special forces of some kind, so he comes from a very regimented, idealistic way of doing things. There are rules for everything. But then you get into such an extreme situation that you never expect. You're in the middle of the ocean. It's like, you know what? I've done what I can. Now it's every man for himself kind of thing. It's not like you're leaving any people behind. It's like there's nowhere to take them anyway. So let's just, yeah.
He was incredibly spooky. He was so scary.
So spooky. So spooky.
The first day, it was so funny working with Derek. So Derek Yates plays my husband, and we hadn't spoken to you yet, and we had to do the blocking rehearsal. And this one just shows up, like all British actors, way better than Americans, obviously. And he's just like...
I appreciate it. I'll give you that $10 later.
It's true. I mean, we won the war, but you guys are better actors.
Wait, which war did you win?
The Revolutionary War.
Oh, the one we just let you have?
We'll talk about historical facts later. But so he shows up and he's like, and oh my gosh, there's this walking down the hallway, and this is the very beginning, and Mia and her husband, so me and Derek are walking, and we're just like, la la la, live streaming to our followers, and he just steps out into the hallway, and it was like, it was so actually terrifying. And I was like, I'm sure he's a nice person.
And I had a big smile on my face. I don't understand.
I don't remember the smile.
I tried to be nice. You go.
I was obsessed with the Titanic.
Yes.
And it was actually, the original Titanic was the movie that made me want to be an actress. And then the obsession with the Titanic itself happened after that. And my team sent the offer, and I literally just called them immediately, and I was like, yes. And they're like, do you want to read this? I was like, no. It's a yes. So it was actually the name.
That's as good a reason then.
And I never read the script. I still haven't read the script. No, I'm kidding. He's like, that's what was wrong with you.
No, I'm just like, well, the first script basically didn't exist anyway, so it didn't matter.
That's true.
I'd worked with Asylum before, so I knew not to read the script. No, I did it simply. I mean, I knew Nick, the director. I'd worked with him before. He directed a movie that I starred in. I actually played 2 roles in, a few years ago, and we had a hilarious time together. And it was a very serious movie, but there was nothing but laughs in between takes. It was hilarious. He was great. And then I know the Asylum family quite well. Mercy, my partner, has worked with them several times. And I was just like, you know what? This is fine. It's not going to take up too many of my days. I can go. I know most of these people. Let's just have some fun. Yeah. And then the idea of it, the Titanic, and the setting and everything. And I knew we were going to be shooting on the Queen Mary. I'm like, yeah, come on. So.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.